What if I told you fear isn't real, that it's just a story planted in your mind, and it's costing you the life you actually want to live? It's everywhere. The news, social media, politics, etc. Fear-mongering. People are using fear as a weapon against others. The sad part is that it often works. But here's the truth. We can't let fear rule our lives. If we do, we'll end up losing out on so much, and that is an absolute tragedy. Let's take a closer look at this subject and see what we can do about it. What is fear? Fear is so pervasive. In fact, we are inundated with it every day that it's easy to forget what it actually means to be fearful of something. Here are a few signals of fear bubbling up in your consciousness that you may want to be aware of. Concern or anxiety, anticipation of something unpleasant occurring, feelings of dread or apprehension. At its root, fear is really nothing more than negative anticipation of something that may or may not even happen in the future. Fear is either irrational or rational. How fear is used against us, you see it everywhere, all the time. In the past few years alone, fear has been used to keep us down and out. And that has had an incredibly negative effect on our lives as a whole. Just look at the things that have taken place in the last few years alone. Since 2020, we have had the COVID-19 pandemic, the truckers' convoy, border blockages, federal elections here and in the States,
Vaccine.
mandates, travel restrictions, etc. All of this was so prevalent that it was actually beginning to make me stressed. And then it made me realize that I needed to get my head out of the news and the paper. I had to move away from all the negativity. Letting go of fear and living our lives, I saw it everywhere. We were constantly being bombarded by horrible fear-mongering tactics designed to keep us down. And this had a major negative impact on many people's mental health. As a result, many people were too afraid to leave their own homes. This prevented us from living our lives the way we wanted. The best way for us to actually live and enjoy our lives is to let go of fear. Now, of course, that's easier said than done. However, I think we all understand what has to take place in order for us to lead normal and healthy lives. We need to kick fear to the curb for good. What does living in fear look like? Living in fear can come in many forms. And it's important to know these various forms so that you can see which, if any, you may be guilty of. Are the different forms that fear will often come in within our everyday lives. Procrastination, self-sabotage, stress eating, short-term focus, impulsive actions. These forms of fear can often creep into our lives without us even being aware of them initially. I know I've dealt with a couple of them myself, so I know how insidious they can be. How do we move forward from fear? Luckily, regardless of what you fear or how big the fear is, moving past it is a relatively simple process. The best part is that anyone can do it. Here is an easy formula you can use in your own life to start moving forward from any fear that may be holding you back right now. Recognize it. Recognize when your fear has made itself known in your thinking. Acknowledge it. Don't run from or try to hide it. Instead, acknowledge it and admit that yes, you are fearful, and that's okay. Breathe through it. You don't. Realize how much stress you're reholding in your body until you release it. The way you do that is simply by breathing. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly and in a controlled way. You'll feel more relaxed and in control. And that allows you to start moving forward without fear latching onto you. Regulate your body. When you live in fear, you'll feel it in certain parts of your body. This is all about regulating your emotions so that they don't hijack you into doing things out of impulse. Choose one small step. Ask yourself, once you've followed the previous steps, what's one small action step I can take to move myself forward? Even small actions can build momentum, and momentum is what empowers you to move forward despite the fear that you may be feeling. These are just a few easy and proven steps you can take to move past your fear so that it doesn't control you. And that S when you start making meaningful progress toward your goals and in your life. Final thoughts. You need to learn how to control your fear instead of letting it control you. When you do this, you regain your personal power. And that is when life can become exciting and meaningful again. And the best part is that we can help. Subscribe Quiet Power for more mindset shifts that put you back in control. Comment, what do you do to control your fear? Give a thumbs up to us.